my knife here. Yeah! So I just cooked, I just cooked. Hello, I'm Roxy Sue Stark from the Windows Education Marketing Team. Today, I'm going to be making Rockstar Bakes breakfast sugar cookies. Recently, I had the chance to work on a cookie book. It's an evolution to the Microsoft Give Campaign bake sale. The cause that this is going towards is the Northwest Harvest that is helping to fight hunger. During one breakfast, I was thinking, wouldn't it be really cute to combine a sugar cookie and my breakfast? So the first step in the recipe is actually creaming the butter and the powdered sugar together. So I have my cup of butter here. It's at room temperature. That's really important for a cookie recipe. I actually couldn't cook before 2017. Still think it's safe to say I can't really cook. And I took a baking decorating class, actually. And in that class, something kind of clicked with me. The powdered sugar is sifted, so that's actually really important. We don't want a chunky powdered sugar. We want it to blend together, emulsify, get nice and light. So that's 1 egg and a tablespoon of vanilla. And then just mix that on low. This part I know, 20 seconds. So you can see here, everything is all incorporated. There's not separation of the eggs at this point, and that means we're ready to go for the flour. Education has always been really important to me, and I've found a role open on the Windows Education team in storybook development, storytelling, and content creation. So I'm super excited to talk about the Give campaign. At Microsoft, we're able to donate, and that gets matched, and you can donate to whatever cause. I think that I've gotten to know a lot of my peers, my coworkers, better through what is meaningful to them. So the next step of this recipe is actually going to be adding the flour in 2 parts. There's now tension in the mixer once the flour is incorporated. This is when I know the second step is ready to actually go in. This is the baking powder, and here is the salt. When it's ready, it's going to become a ball. Giving is super important because my parents are actually Cambodian refugees, and they had a lot of help along the way. I feel more of a complete person when I know that I'm helping the community or giving it away. The cookie book is actually an evolution of the bake sale that we do every single year. Since there's a pandemic, we're not able to get together and bake cookies. So the cookie book is an ebook. I think that this is a great way to still connect with people through sharing family recipes or where that recipe came from and why it's meaningful to us. Whenever somebody donates to the Northwest Harvest, they will get this in return. So I got my dough ball, just gonna weigh it out. So it's usually always about 800 grams. And I'm just gonna split it between the 2 cookies. So 400 and 400. So for the bacon, I kind of want a 50-50 mix. And then for the egg, it's really more like a quarter because the egg yolk is just so much smaller. I think how this has kind of related to my role at Microsoft is that it kind of allows me to be creative outside of work and relaxed outside of work, so I could bring so much more to when I'm partnering with people. That allows me a different perspective as well, especially working in the education space. It'll always push me outside of my comfort zone, is what I'll say. I have just divided up the proportions, and now I'm going to be coloring the cookies. Add a little bit at a time because you can always add more, but you can't take away. Friends and family are definitely the testers. So my husband actually gained about 15 pounds the first year I was baking and told me, no more. Just keep mixing until there are no stripes left. This piece is going to be red. I think now more than ever, it's so nice to have something to bond over and connect over. And for my family, it's always been around food. My parents always showed that they loved us by providing food. I think that longing to connect with people and make sure that they're fed and happy and also inspired makes me really happy to be creative. So I just moved the dough aside and I'm getting parchment paper. I'm gonna lay it out and I'm going to be making dips. I'm basically going to be rolling out the dough now and then wrapping it in saran wrap so that we can get it into the refrigerator for the next step. I usually just check it from the side. And because it's not firm yet, I just flip it over with the parchment paper. Yeah! So I'm actually tackling the bacon now, and with these two pieces, I'm gonna try and make them as symmetrical as possible because I'm going to be laying them over one another. So see, I'm just kind of trying to make this longer type of oval. So I have the two layers adhered to one another now. And then I'm gonna cut this piece into thirds. So I got my knife here. Each section was 3 inches, 3. And I just use my knife to kind of align it to one side. You might be tempted to just cut all of the sides to make them as even as possible now to make bacon, but don't do that. Let's just get it back into the fridge. Okay, so movie magic. It's really nice because it just pops out. So I just cut out with the larger cookie cutters the egg whites. So I just cut this out. Again, it's nice and firm. If you just press down a little bit, they will firm up and adhere when we put them in the fridge just this one more time. Now I'm going to take my ruler and measure out 1/4 inch pieces of the bacon and we're gonna slice it. Before you slice the bacon, you wanna start your oven and get it preheated to 325 degrees. And now I'm just gonna slice. These are still cold, so I'm able to handle them. If they start to get too warm because they're room temperature, just pop them back in the fridge. But make sure they're wrapped so they don't dry out. Now that we've finished placing the cookies, I'm gonna show you how to make the zigzag. So I'm basically just alternating my fingers, like just staggered enough to make a little bit of a zigzag. Now that the bacon is squiggly and it looks so fresh, I'm going to cover this with saran wrap and we're gonna put it in the fridge for half an hour. So now that the cookies have been baking for about 8 minutes, we're just gonna take them out of the oven all nice and fresh. And you'll just want that to sit for about 10 minutes before it's cool. So now that the cookies are nice and cooled and we can pick them up, I just wanted to show you what finished cookies look like. Here's our egg, here's our bacon. There's no more gloss to it. It's actually nice and brown on bottom. You can tell they're definitely cooked. So nice and tasty. And there we go. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more home cooked episodes, make sure to visit us at Microsoft Life.